It is so natural and normal for us as people to boldly and enthusiastically share our most celebrated life moments. We're getting married. We're pregnant. It's a boy. It's a girl. Tom got that promotion. Oh, little Sarah, she's the star basketball player on her team. Hey, little Tommy, he got straight A's. And we love celebrating in these moments, in these events. It makes us happy. It's joyful. These are joyful moments. But we all know that life every day is not just sunshine. There are these storm clouds that come rolling in. And sometimes they come rolling in really fierce. And when these clouds come and they pour rain on us and knock us around with their wind, why do we find it so difficult to share these challenging life events with other people? We have this unrealistic expectation that we're perfect. We can handle everything. And that nobody else is going through the same thing that you are going through. This is 100% not true. It is during these challenging moments, because life is not meant to be easy. These are the important times to share these experiences, because first of all, it will make you feel and know that you're not alone. You are not alone. I promise you, whatever you are going through, there is somebody else going through the exact same thing. And the beautiful thing about putting it out there is that we benefit from each other. We benefit from the experiences that others have gone through, and we can learn how it's possible to, and how somebody came through the other side successfully to see the sunshine yet again. I came upon being bold and authentic storytelling the same way an alcoholic might find Alcoholics Anonymous. I got tired. Got tired of hiding. I got tired of keeping everything inside, like I've got it handled. Even when I was married the first time, any problems that arose, I kept it into myself and figured I'll handle it, because I didn't want to upset the apple cart. And I got tired of the consequences. And the most recent consequence, the one that catapulted me into being authentic and bold in the telling of my story, of my life story. And I'm not saying that every chapter of our life needs to be read aloud. Oh gosh, no. No. There are chapters that will not be read aloud, believe you me. It was my wedding day, April 23rd, 2016. My husband was going to go to federal prison in a few months. But everybody at our wedding, we had 50 of our closest family and friends, a joyous celebration. Oh, it was calm and gentle and fun and beautiful. I cannot describe the joyfulness, the singing, the dancing, the food, the drink, the laughter. But every day, for weeks leading up to my wedding day, I woke up in angst, thinking, oh, is today the day that my daughters find out about Chris and his crime? And will my wedding be destroyed? Kind of selfish, right? But every day, I woke up my wedding morning day and nobody found out yet. And I got through my wedding and it was a fun, wonderful day. But I still woke up with that angst. I was tethered by not being bold and authentic. So it was after the wedding, I knew that I would have to tell my daughters. I just didn't know when. Because I feared. I had a fear of them being mad at me, of them abandoning me, of them thinking I'm crazy, of them all of a sudden not liking my husband, and I didn't want to deal with that. So instead, I just let the turmoil build and build and build in here. And a month prior to him having to go to prison, they found out. And all hell broke loose. And it has taken me years to repair the damage I've done. You see, at the time I was being self-righteous. Well, it's our life, and you know the type of person I am. I'm good. I have a good heart. I do good things. Well, no matter how good you are, no matter how great your heart is and all the wonderful things you do, you can still cause hurt to the people you love, and that's what I did. It was a sense of betrayal that my daughters felt. And I was so focused on myself that I felt I couldn't see. I couldn't see the damage that my storm did to them. Until finally I did. And it's a process. It's like baking a cake. It's a process. You just don't all of a sudden say, oh, I'm sorry, and move on. It is a process of building that cake. Every single ingredient has to be perfect and done well and done with intention. Now, I think everything's hunky-dory, but I have a skewed vision of life anyway. So, as months move on, I joined Toastmasters. And I'm to give my icebreaker speech. My icebreaker speech I had all planned out. It was called the Big Beautifully Wrapped Package. And it is about how I view life every day. I have a very optimistic outlook on life, and every day I see this big beautiful wrapped package all day long. I get done wrapping, and it was me. And I practiced for weeks. I sat in front of the video camera, practice. I had it down. And then just days before, something kept tugging at me, pushing me to where I just finally stumbled and I knelt down to my knees. All right, God, you win. I will tell the story. And what God wanted for me, it was not the fluff of the beautifully wrapped package, but the guts of a real life story. And with everything I had, I stood up in front of people who were virtually strangers and shared that my husband is in federal prison. There wasn't that I could see a judgmental bone. I was embraced. And since then, for this past 4 years, my husband has been my favorite subject, and everybody has followed my journey. And I discovered that bold and authentic storytelling is where it's at. And allow me to tell you a few of the advantages of being bold and authentic. Number 1, you discover you're not alone. You are not alone. No matter how alone you might feel in your dire or what you deem as a dire situation, you're not. But you wouldn't know that. You wouldn't know that unless you shared your experience, what you're going through. let me tell you what, you are not alone in having financial difficulties. You are not alone in having problems with your marriage. You are not alone in having had an affair. You are not alone in wishing you could have hugged your mom, child, dad, just one more time. You are not alone in the struggles of raising your child. You're not alone in feeling mom or dad guilt. You are not alone in having a loved one incarcerated. You are not alone. Just name it. Just name whatever it is, whatever situation you're going through. And I will promise you, you are not alone. And once you are able to find somebody or some platform to share your situation, there will be this little bit of burden and that feeling of acceptance. Because feeling alone and lonely, that's a really bad feeling. Number 2, by sharing your life experience, you will unequivocally have an impact on somebody's life. And you may even save a life by telling your story. Shortly after starting Toastmasters, before my icebreaker speech, I was encouraged to participate in a competition in Kalispell. I was going to compete in the table topics competition. So while I was there, it was wonderful. I got to hear some great speeches, but one stood out in particular to me. And it was a man. And his speech, he went in between 2 characters. And this man was Lane Latigo. His speech was the telling of his story, boldly and authentically, of him as a gay cowboy. I was fascinated. I was enthralled. I had a respect and a fondness for this man, and I applaud him then, and I applaud him now. And I believe Lane, by having shared being a gay cowboy, which I just love, that's a difficult thing to share with people, especially in Lane's era. And I'm not saying you're old. It's just a lot different now than in the era that he grew up, I grew up, any of us grew up. And I firmly believe that he has saved a life by being bold and authentic with his storytelling. So many people will feel unaccepted in that situation, and again, abandoned. Abandonment, if you think about it, is just one of our worst fears as people. So bravo. Number 3, you will feel liberated and free of exhaustion and pretending that you don't have shit going on in your life, because every single one of us has shit going on. We all have stuff. And to pretend we don't is very harmful. When my husband we become untethered. We become untethered by our past once we become truthful, vulnerable, and transparent. When my husband, about a month or two after my husband, or a few months after my husband reported to prison, kind of became envious. I thought, wow. Because once he entered prison, he was stripped down. He was exposed. All of his wrongdoings, lies, deceit, they were all exposed. It's like, hey, he gets a fresh start. And I found that just fabulous. My husband has done remarkable things with that fresh start. I admire him so incredibly much. He has done a 180, and I am a lucky, lucky wife. So today, as I conclude my talk, I want to leave you with my bold and authentic confession of what I'm going through currently. I wake up every day right now in fear and sadness that after 4 years of my husband being away, we won't live that happy life together that we have worked so hard for as a team. As many of you know, my husband's ill, and we're trying to get him home just even a few months early to give him an opportunity to live. I fear that I will never live those date night letters that my husband sent me. I fear that we won't be able to go for evening walks holding each other's hands, sit on the back porch drinking a glass of wine and having conversation and listening to music, snuggling on the sofa to watch a movie, making him my grilled cheese that he loves so much, and laying in his arms, which is my favorite place in the whole wide world. I fear that that won't happen. And when I express those fears, what comes back to me from others is encouragement and faith. And I know in the end we will come out the other side, seeing the sunshine.